I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is open to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. So I declare with my word spoken confidently into law, that this is a blessed event, that we are moving out into the bits and the bytes of the ethereal world to bring this meeting of the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton. And we were so honored to have Maggie with us today from California, that she has gotten up early to bless us with her words and her wisdom and her take on the concepts that make our lives better because we have access to this teaching. So I give thanks to that which gives us motion. I give thanks to that which indwells all of us. And I invite everyone to join me in saying, and so it is. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
So good morning, all, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton. I'm John Heron. I'm the spiritual director of this center, and we are a loving, healing, and inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind for the well-being and spiritual growth of ourselves and the world. And this is our Zoom Sunday, the first Sunday of each month. And so we welcome you. Thank you for joining us today. And we have a really special gift today. Maggie RINTALA will be speaking to us. She is a practitioner, lives in California, and was recommended by some of our dear friends. And so we're looking forward to hearing Maggie's talk, and she'll introduce herself when she starts. And so this week we have Maggie, and give me 1 second here. I think next week we have Reverend Karen. The week after that, Reverend Michelle Wadley again will join us. And after that will be Reverend Frankie. So that ends up being our June. And we hope that you'll join us at the Masonic Lodge, 345 River Road, or online on Facebook at CSL Space Princeton. So I also have a special announcement. Reverend Michelle Wadley is starting a class, is calling it a beta class, 10 Simple Practices for Conscious Living. It's a weekly class that will be going on at 10 a.m. Eastern. For 10 weeks. It's called the Conscious Living Project. I will send out the information. Since we here at CSL Princeton are not teaching anything ourselves right now, not having any classes, those who want to move forward and grow in the teaching, it's an opportunity. Join Michelle's class, and Michelle is very nicely contributing back 30% of any registrations that come from CSL Princeton to our center. So it's a way for us to grow and learn and be part of a new class. I will be sending out that information. So again, welcome to CSL Princeton, and let's move forward. Reverend Rich.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. When all fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love will set us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I fear I've lost my way, then I go inside and quiet my mind. I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love will set us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love will set us free. There is only love.
Thank you, Reverend Rich. I have to tell you, that is just the most beautiful song and perfect segue into what I'm going to be doing. During the peace meditations the past few Wednesdays, I've been guided to use the loving kindness prayer, or the metta prayer. And so I'm going to infuse that into my meditation today. And just a reminder, the peace meditation has been changed to 11:45 instead of 12. So those of you that attend, it's just 15 minutes earlier. So what I would like you to do is find that place, that quiet place where we sit and know we're going to be in contact with love, with the life that goes through us, closing your eyes if it's available to you, and just breathe. Just breathe and let your breathing settle to wherever it settles. Because we know there is a creative living intelligence that flows through all life. So we know that our breath is that loving presence flowing through us right now. So just be aware of the presence of the divine, of love right now as you breathe. We are breathing life. We are being life. You are an expression of life itself. You belong here, and you are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. So take a breath and let those words just settle. You belong here. You are worthy of love. And with inhaling, say, love lives within me, to yourself. Love lives within me. Just breathing naturally with the inhale, love lives within me. And now think to yourself, I allow myself to receive it. Love lives within me. I allow myself to receive it. Love lives within me. I allow myself to receive it. Do a few of those on your own. And now I invite you to repeat aloud after me. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I accept myself as I am. May I know that I am worthy of love. Just let those words sink in. Offer the wishes as a gift to yourself. And we'll do that one more time. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I accept myself as I am. May I know that I am worthy of love. So I invite you, if you haven't already, to bring your hands to heart center. And know that you are loved. You are loved. You are loving. And knowing that, you treat yourself with the light of compassion. Right here, right now, you are enough. So in this sacred moment, I will speak an affirmative prayer, knowing there is one infinite light, one perfect love, present everywhere and expressing itself through all creation, therefore expressing itself through each one here and this blessed talk and service. Each one here is an individualized expression of love, therefore each one here feels fulfilled, knowing that that love ever present is each one's guide. With open heart, each one moves through each day, recognizing the love that is present everywhere, seeing love in action, and letting go of any appearance otherwise, knowing the truth that love is eternal. Each one therefore feels refreshed and renewed with this awareness and embracing of that flowing life and love that's within them, upholding them, uplifting them. And each one therefore feels the freedom that comes from knowing all is well. Each one is at peace. Each one is safe. Each one is healthy, and each one does indeed accept themselves as they are, right here, right now, in loving kindness. What a blessing. What a gift to feel and express and experience the one love, being in union with the one love and releasing any idea of separation. So in gratitude, I release these words to the loving law. It only says yes. And together we affirm by saying, and so it is.
So it is. You can spend your whole life building something from nothing. One storm can come and blow it all away. Build it anyway. You can chase a dream that seems so out of reach. You know it might not ever come your way. Dream it anyway. God is great, but sometimes life ain't good. When I pray, don't always turn out like I think it should. I do it anyway. I do it anyway. This world's gone crazy, and it's hard to believe that tomorrow will be better than today. Believe it anyway. You can love someone with all your heart for all the right reasons. In a moment they can choose to walk away. Love them anyway. God is great, but sometimes life ain't good. When I pray, don't always turn out like I think it should. Love him anyway. You can pour your soul out singing a song you believe in, that tomorrow they'll forget you ever sang. I sing it anyway. Yeah, sing it anyway. I sing, I scream, I love anyway. And now it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce Maggie RINTALA from the great state of California, coming to bring her message. Take it away.
Oh, thank you, Rich. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me in my little window in this great technology. So I'm Maggie RINTALA, and I am a religious science certified practitioner. I'm also a senior ministerial student. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to practice my craft. I am working really hard to become a platform minister. I would like to eventually one day work in shared leadership at a center. I also love traveling around to speak. I've been, since my very first term in ministerial school, been traveling all over to give talks. And this is such a great platform to do that in. A little bit about me. My first career was I was a professional dancer. And I am in San Diego, so I always, because it's a military town, I had to clarify that the kind of dance I did was modern dancing. If you get that joke, you might understand what I'm talking about. And I have a family and a mortgage and a dog, so I just seem like a regular suburban mom, but I have this big, deep life underneath, which is religious science that I started practicing in 2015. So I'm relatively new to this movement, but it grabbed a hold of me right away because it speaks the language I was raised with, which is oneness. I was raised with indigenous wisdom. My mom was an elder and a spirit keeper and a pipe holder. And so I was in ceremony from the time I was really young. So speaking this language has always been a part of what I've done. And next year I will be a minister in our movement. And that is a great joy for me. But today I'm here to talk to you about being finally broken open. And that is something that may feel painful, but is a window of opportunity. And right now, we have that window of opportunity partly because the seasons are changing. We are going from spring in the Northern Hemisphere into summer. And summer is this time of great joy and expression. And we feel the freedom of the long days, and our bodies feel different because there is a warming from that sun that is around for so long. And also, this expression can get stuck. It's not just the expression of our bodies that we might have an injury or something may hold us back, like a sickness or an illness. There's also things that happen in our lives that happen immediately, harms and hurts that keep us stuck from our fullest expression. We want to be available for that as summer comes open to us. And one of our practices that is so helpful is compassion and forgiveness. Compassion and forgiveness can give us a window into our fullest expression. Forgiveness is something I've been working really hard on this year. And I didn't just come up with that idea because I thought, well, I'll practice forgiveness, because who would do that? It's really hard to practice forgiveness. It started for me at the end of last year. One of my spiritual practices is shamanism. And my shaman teacher taught me a new ritual at the end of last year. And we did it all together as a group. And it requires 13 days at the end of the year to go deep into what do you desire for the next year. And the very first night of the ceremony, you write down 13 things you want for next year. You guys have done end of the year practices, right? You have some reflection, you have some dreaming, and we're really good dreamers in Centers for Spiritual Living. We know how to think of those big ideas. So this was easy for me. I started writing down dream vacations and how I want my relationships to show up, and what kind of things I could call in for new work in my life. How can I serve to the highest? But I got to about 10, and because this is 13 things, it started to get really hard. So then I really got to dig deep, and I started to dig deeper and deeper, and then I got to 12, and I could not think of 13. So I just sort of gave up, as we do, also known as surrender, also known as finally letting go. And the words deep abiding forgiveness came to me. And so I wrote them on my little slip of paper, and I folded it up, because that's the ceremony we're doing, and I put it into my little jar, and then I immediately regretted it. And I thought, deep abiding forgiveness? I don't want to have to do that. And as the ritual goes on, each night you pull out, without looking at it, one of your little dreams for the year, and you burn it. And in shamanic practice, this is releasing it back to the law. And we do that as well. We release, we let it go back to the universe, and the ash burns down into the earth, and the smoke goes up into the universe. And maybe it will come back to us because it is all one. If it is mine to do, it will come back to me. And the whole time, every night I'm burning these little squares, I'm thinking, I hope I don't get deep abiding forgiveness. I hope I don't get deep abiding forgiveness. And I think because you all look really smart to me, you're guessing that on the 13th night, what did I open? Deep abiding forgiveness. And I just thought, okay, here we go. And I have a little bit of a suspicion that because the universe and the law is a little bit like a toddler, if you tell a toddler, no running, they don't hear no running. They hear run, running, we run. Whatever we put our attention on comes in, even if it is something we don't want. So I have a little suspicion that I called it in with my fear. I want to say fear, for lack of a better word. Needless to say, I got this. Here I am, deep abiding forgiveness. But I didn't know what that might mean for me. How do I do this? And that is another thing we can use. That is another question we can use to call in the answers. How do I do this? I am available, universe. How do I do this? Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy, who's ever heard of him? Good. 2 hands are up. Yes. Ernest Holmes, when he wrote the statements of belief, he wrote them as I statements. So Ernest Holmes wrote, I believe heaven is within me and that I experience it to the degree that I become conscious of it. So I decided to be conscious of the heaven that is being created within me here and now through this practice of deep abiding forgiveness. And when I did that, I had a memory of something that was very sticky for me that I could work with. It was 2023. And this is just one of those moments where I go, that was 3 years ago. It's 2026. These things can live in us for a long time. You might even be thinking right now of something that happened to you ages ago. I took my mom on a dream vacation. My mom had never been out of the country, and she has that travel bug. So I took her to Hawaii, which, yes, I know is not out of the country. But if you ask the Hawaiians, it is not America. So let us remember that. And it feels exotic. And my mom had never been on a plane ride for that long, and it was a dream vacation. We went to the Big Island and we rented a camper van and we drove all over and we did incredible hikes and volcanoes. And my mom made me take pictures of her. She's a very petite woman next to these big plants. And she's like, look at the plant is bigger than me. It was fantastic. And it was my birthday. And I'm on a dream trip with the woman who gave birth to me. And then she forgot my birthday. And I was pissed. Talk about blocking your joy and your expression. I spent half of the morning on a phone call with a friend, and I was trouncing around under a palm tree, talking about my selfish mother, and all these memories were coming up. And I went to her and I said, "What's the deal, Mom? Why did you forget?" And she was stiff, and her eyes were really big, and her hands were clasped. And she said, "Well, I celebrate when you want me to," which isn't out of the realm of possibilities because my birthday's on February 29th, which only comes every 4 years. So sometimes we celebrate the day before and sometimes we celebrate the day after. But it seemed really suspicious to me, and I was still mad, and I carried it around all day. And then 6 months later, my mom died. And it was rapid, and her decline was aggressive. And because of that, we had an autopsy, and the autopsy showed my mom had a rare and rarely diagnosed prion disease, which misfolds the proteins in your brain and causes your brain to degenerate. And within 3 months, she went from horseback riding and hiking to making her transition. And I felt such guilt after learning this. That kind of guilt that grasps onto your heart and weighs your whole body down and makes your mind churn, 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 and remember that moment over and over and over again and just say, why did I do that? What was I thinking? I would go back in my mind and pinch myself and say, wake up, Maggie. But I couldn't go back in time. I couldn't speak to my mother. This time was different. So I had to open myself up again. This is the heaven that I want to create, that I want to become conscious of. And I have chosen deep abiding forgiveness. And I am available. So I started looking for the signs. And I know that might sound really woo-woo, but we all get signs. Sometimes it's just a feeling. Sometimes it's a phone call. Sometimes it's a knowing that I say yes. Sometimes it is a tree waving at you as you're driving down the road saying, look at me, you are in this moment. The signs are everywhere. So now we're in 2026, and I'm going to practice deep abiding forgiveness. And my husband, because I turned 50 this year, thank you very much, took me on a dream trip to Costa Rica. So now I'm on another birthday trip to another exotic place, and I am attacking this sticky memory. So I took it into meditation, but not any kind of meditation. This is even beyond visioning. We have a practice called visioning. Maybe you guys have done that, where you open up and you allow whatever it is to speak to you. Could be colors, could be sounds, could be an idea. And you let those ideas come in. And in shamanic practices, we call this a shamanic journey. So I'm in Costa Rica and I'm walking on the beach and I found a shell. They're everywhere in Costa Rica. And I remembered my teacher saying, I'm holding up my shell. Can you guys see it? My teacher said, you can journey, also called meditation, to the spirit of anything. And I'm holding this shell, and this shell is shaped like a drill because it drills down into the sand. And I thought, well, how about I go on a meditation journey with this shell and see what the shell says? It is so important to believe our imagination. The imagination is what the law uses to communicate with us. It's not nothing. It is something. And this is the first principle we have to get used to. Believe your imagination. It is God's idea in you. So I'm on the meditation with the shell, and I see the shell drilling into the center of my heart. In fact, finally breaking me open because I am available. And the shell is in my heart, and I hear this. Self-love is at the heart of forgiveness. Self-love is at the heart of forgiveness. And I knew in that moment, our concept of eternity, there is no time, there is no space, there is no separation. I knew I could have forgiveness of this event that had happened with my mother. Just remembering it now makes me tingle all over. That pain and that love are always available to us, and they can happen in the exact same time. We can hold it all. You know, Ernest Holmes lost his wife, Hazel, in 1957, and they had been married for 30 years. And he spoke of and acted on his great love of her. And he didn't write about what happened and how he felt about it, but those close to him say that the sorrow he experienced was like nothing they had ever seen him express before. Grief is truly a singular experience. It is an opening. It is a portal to the eternal. And Rabbi Earl Grolman says that grief is not a disorder, a disease, or a sign of weakness. It is a spiritual necessity. The only cure for grief is to grieve. And I believe this is true for all of our principles. The only cure for joy is to be joyous. The only cure for that compassion that is holding its grip on you is to be compassionate. These principles and practices do not work. We work them in this body, in this life. Everything is available for us to be finally broken open. Ernest Holmes says that through the power of love, we can let go of past history and begin again. Love heals, forgives, and makes whole. So there I was with my guilt and my pain. And there I was being finally broken open with the knowing of self-love and forgiveness. But it doesn't heal unless we make it work. So what do? We have meditation. We have prayer. We have practitioners. We have our ministers. We have our loved ones. And we have ourself. Because that shell reminded me to drill into the center of my own heart. That's what I did. And I'm guessing just by hearing my story, you too might have something you remember. Maybe it's a little thing. You cut somebody off on the road unintentionally, but it hurts because you made them really mad, and then you feel guilty. Or you understand that you caused harm, whether unintentionally, or maybe you have a harm you caused intentionally because of anger or resentment, and you are holding on to that intentional harm. Whether these things are big things or little things, we can take this sovereign compassion and we can forgive. All I had to do to know that forgiveness was possible was to close my eyes and get still. And I let the images come, that memory that I didn't do it right. And I sat with myself in my own heart center. In fact, you can do it right now. Face yourself as if you were facing what I like to call God, because that is what you are. You are available to be that creative power. And I looked myself into my own eyes, and I spoke the words that I couldn't speak to my mother. I said, "It's okay. You didn't know. I forgive you. It is okay. It's different now." And then in my own heart, in my own mind's eye, with myself as the power of the universe providing, I gave myself a hug. I wrapped my arms around myself and I gave myself a hug. And even just telling you guys this story, I can feel that healing. And if facing yourself is a challenge, choose an image of the power of the universe to face. Whether it's a tree or a beloved elder or that unconditional love you felt sitting on a mountaintop, knowing that you were a part of something greater. Feel it in your body and allow it to wrap itself around you. Kristen Neff is a compassion researcher, and she has an incredible website on self-compassion. And I'm going to tell you a quote from her. She says, "What's more important than the intensity of the challenge you face in life is how you relate to yourself in the midst of it." What's more important than the intensity of the challenge is how you relate to yourself. That is how, when you are finally broken open, you heal. How are you relating to yourself? And how willing are you to open to that consciousness? How much do you believe you are co-creating with the universe? Be available to it. So this year I walked the road of forgiveness. I stood on the bridge of compassion. I looked into my reflection in the river below, that river that just continuously flows with experience, with life. And as I cross over onto the other side, there is joy, that joyous expression of summer. And I know I will walk more roads of compassion. I will stand on more bridges of forgiveness. And I will always see deeper. And I will always have more joy. And I know this is possible for you too, especially when you allow yourself to be finally broken open. Thank you. Thank you for being here, listening to my message.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank
And I'm
you.
trying to My cursor is being strange. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, and you can hear me. Great, because now it is time for our gratitude practice. And as we receive from the infinite, we also give in gratitude and joy. So we can give virtually via cslprinceton.org with PayPal and credit card, and we can also mail a check. The address is on the site, but I'm going to invite you right now to close your eyes for a moment as I continue in my flow of loving kindness work. A nice deep breath and just settle in. May these gifts bless each one here. May these gifts bless CSL Princeton. May these gifts bless the good they make possible for each one here, CSL Princeton, and the world. And as we sit here in this quiet moment, I invite you to just express gratitude to yourself for showing up today and to each one here for providing the two or more gathered in its name. And I invite Maggie to do a closing treatment.
Staying in that open field of gratitude, so beautifully held by this loving community. Recognizing that deep oneness that is eternal, that is all encompassing, that is ever available. I am it. And I know each one here is it. All are the thing that is. Whatever we call it. It is happening now. And I know because of this alignment with the one, I know because of this realization that it is all ever present, ever available, and being utilized by the loving individualized expressions of this one, I know that the world is a good, loving, inspired expression of that one, comprised of these unique individualizations. And I know the work that is done by each one here and by all of humanity and everything, that there is goodness and there is love and there is compassion. And that creates a world that works for everyone. I'm so grateful to know and to feel and to act in the way that makes this possible now and always. And I just let it go. And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Lay it down, set it free, let your heart rest, and let it be. Lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
It was
everyone, for
beautiful.
coming today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.